Hey golfers, you ever finish a round and you're scratching your head thinking, my swing wasn't even that bad today? Why is my score so high? The truth is, it's not always the big swing flaws killing our scores. It's those dumb little mistakes we all make that quietly add up to 10 plus shots lost. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 worst ones amateurs make most and exactly how to stop them so you can finally break 90 for good.
One of the biggest mistakes that amateurs make that's causing the score to go up above 90 is not consistently making these 2, 3, and 4 footers. So I was watching a video by Payne Stewart who was talking about everyone has an equal playing field on the green. It doesn't matter how strong you are. We're all kind of equal when it comes to the putting green. So this is something that we can spend time practicing and getting better at 2, 3, and 4 footers. So I'm going to share with you my secret, why I feel like I'm a pretty good putter from inside 4 feet. I like to actually give a little exhale right before I putt it, because that kind of releases the tension and the nervousness, because some people get above a little 3, 4 footer and they just kind of like get real tight and clinch up. So I like to line it up, and I'm going to show you one other tip of how to make these more consistently, and that's by not giving up the hole. If a putt's 2, 3, 4 feet, it's not going to break that much. So this one, I'm aiming at the left edge, but I'm not aiming outside of the left edge. I'm not giving up the hole, and it goes in. So if you play too much break on a short little putt, you might miss it because it doesn't have that much time to actually break. That's why when Tiger Woods was at his peak, he actually would putt these short little ones with a lot of speed, because that's going to take even more break out of it, so it makes the putt even straighter. You can bring a tape measure out here, but after a while you'll kind of memorize, okay, that's 2 feet, that's 3 feet, that's 4 feet. You don't need the tape measure anymore. I like to just practice all day long, making these 2, 3, 4 footers, and then if you really want to put in the effort, you got to go back to 5 or 6 feet. Here's a perfect drill. I only have 3 balls, but I like to do this drill with more balls. So I'm going to measure 3 feet on this side, then I'm going to try a different angle because that putt's left to right, but I want to practice my straight putts and my right to left putts as well. So that's a 3 footer, and this is a 3 footer. Ideally, if I had more balls, I would actually do, 5 or 6 of these. So this is 3 footers, but they're going to break different directions because they're different spaces around the hole. This one I've already putted. I know it's left edge, so what I like to do when I say I'm not going to hit the ball outside the hole, my line is going to be inside the hole. So I don't like to aim outside the hole, but I know this is going to break left to right. So I'm going to aim right at the left edge and hit it nice and firm. Again, I'm going to exhale right before I putt it. Made it. I'm really nervous. YouTube makes me nervous. So this 3 footer here, I'm dealing with my shadow. Can't really tell which way it's gonna break. Maybe a little bit this way. So I'm gonna aim it like the right center of the cup, but I'm not gonna aim outside the cup, and I'm gonna hit it nice and firm. I can't tell you how many times I've watched golfers, including myself, miss these 3 footers. So if you wanna break 90, get in the habit of practicing your 3 footers. This one looks pretty straight. Right down the middle. If you want to lower your scores, practice your 2 and 3 footers. Those 2 to 3 footers, we should be 100%. We should be able to make those in our sleep, under pressure, out on the course, whatever the pressure is for you. For me, I play with my friend Myron, and we have bragging rights, and I get nervous over 2 or 3 footers. But these are the putts that are going to lower our scores. Most golfers can't make a putt from 5 to 6 feet under pressure. I mean, they might make it every now and again. These are the ones that are going to lower our scores. So I actually like to practice my putting with this flag that looks like it was made in 1987. I like to take it out. When I'm practicing, I like to actually do my real pre-shot routine on these. So I'm going to line it up from back here. I can see it's going to go a little left to right. I'll take a look from this way, from over here. So I'm not going to give up the hole, but I'm also want to pay attention. Is this thing straight or going uphill? And it's going uphill a little bit, so I want to make sure I get it there. Most golfers will line up and then they'll put their putter head down. So I like to have my putter head safe and secure first, and then get the rest of my body into place. Put my putter head down, left edge, uphill, cash me out. Let's go. So this one I think is going to go a little right to left. I'm going to line it up. So I'm going to get my putter over the ball first, nice and secure, and then I'm going to get the rest of my body fit in there. Broke more than I thought. So as you can see, practicing these 6-footers is huge. Right edge, nice and firm. This is where we lower our scores. We don't have to go bang balls on the range all day trying to change our swing. We need to learn how to make a 6-footer under pressure in anything inside of that. All right. Let's go. All right. Whew. This is where golf scores get lowered. 6-footers, 5-footers, 4-footers, 3-footers, 2-footers. Let's go. Making 6-footers is very, very difficult, but this is where we can spend time practicing. If you have access to a practice screen, go ahead and measure out 6 feet and put balls in different spots. Get the reps in until you start making more and more. This is where I personally spend my time practicing. It's hard to tell, but this is where I can lower scores and where you can lower scores as well. And then doing the same from 5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet, 2 feet, and 1 foot. Hopefully your friends will give you the 1-footer. The 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-footers under pressure, that's how we lower our golf scores. Now let's talk about chipping. One mistake that amateurs make that's keeping your scores up above 90 is around the greens, folks will chip when the higher percentage play would be a putt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna share with you an example here of the results that a bad putt is going to be better than a bad chip. So I'm going to chip 3 and then I'm going to putt 3, and I'm going to show you what I mean. This chips right off the green. This would be a very simple putt, but some golfers are going to get tempted to chip this. And I mentioned this in a lot of videos because I see it all the time of golfers, as soon as they get off the green, they instantly think they need to take a chipper. And I like to think I'm a pretty good chipper, but still, a bad putt is going to be better than a bad chip. So, and again, I'm a pretty good chipper, but this one here, a Texas wedge, I could putt it on up there. There's the chip. So that's the results with my 3 chips. So now I'm gonna putt it 3 times, which is the right play because the bad putts are going to turn out better than these bad chips. That should be an up and down there. I'll have to clean that up. But my bad putt is still going to be better than my bad chip. Go in, baby. Go in. So that's a tap in, up and down. Now this is the controversial one here because you're further off the green, but I still think putting it, very little could go wrong. It's going to go a little left or right. I'm going to have to go through this dormant grass and then the fringe. Might be a little bumpy. That was pretty bad. All right, so by putting it, I got all the up and downs there pretty effortlessly. Chipping it, I was 2 of 3 on the chipping. So that settles the case for all of eternity. It's better to putt the Texas wedge rather than chip when you're on the fringe and when you're just off the green. A lot of guys think they're really good chippers, and then you could chunk one, you could blade one. It's a higher percentage chance you're gonna get up and down if you putt it. Okay, one big mistake that amateurs make that's keeping our scores higher, and if we can get this shot down, it's gonna really help us break 90 more consistently, and it's mastering the bump and run. So most high handicap golfers, when they chip, they just get the ball in the air and they chip it high, and that's very hard to control. The higher percentage play is what I call the bump and run. So I'm gonna share with you an example here. I like to use my 52-degree wedge. It's gonna bump and then it's gonna run. It's gonna be a low chip that's gonna roll a lot. Actually a challenging chip here because I'm kind of going into the grain. If I'd hit it nice and high, that would be challenging. So instead I'm gonna hit the bump and then let it run out there with the 52-degree wedge. I have the ball in the back of my stance and my weight a little forward. So the ball's kind of on my back foot, my weight's forward. And it bumped and then it ran on out. And this is very challenging because it's into the grain, which is like hardest example possible. But again, it's called the bump and run. The ball's on my back foot, my weight's a little forward. I'm gonna bump it and then let it run on back to the hole. Bump and then run. Chipping in the grain ain't easy. Let's try one that's in the rough here. It should be an easier shot actually. Same play though, bump and run. Keep it nice and low and let it run on back there. Bump and run. Bump and run. So this is a shot that you can practice and get good at, and it's gonna get a lot better results than just trying to hit those high flop shots when a flop shot isn't necessary. I've gotten more comments hating on flop shots than any other thing in my videos. So I'm not against flop shots. If you have to go over a bunker and it's the only option, then you have to execute the flop shot. But in a situation like this with a straightforward chip, just hit the bump and run, get it on the green as fast as possible, and then let it roll back to the pin rather than staying up in the air with a higher chipping loft. I like to just bump it and run it, get that ball on the ground as fast as possible. And I just, for whatever reason, I've chipped so long for my 52. I just love chipping with my 52, but I will chip with the 56-degree wedge as well. I don't even have a 60-degree wedge in my bag right now. I have before. I'm not opposed to it in the future, but right now I just use a 52 and a 56. Another big mistake that amateurs make that's keeping you from breaking 90 more consistently is not practicing getting up and downs. And so I call this the Nelly Korda drill. She talks about at the end of her practice session, I think she'll actually go until she gets 6 up and downs in a row. So if she misses the up and down, she won't end her practice session. So I'm only gonna do 3 for the sake of this video so you don't fall asleep, but I'm gonna show you the example. I'm gonna pick 3 up and downs that are kind of difficult. I threw a ball over there, I'll throw a ball over there. Don't go in the water, don't go in the water. Oh no. All right, I throw that one right there, and then we'll go 1 right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna end my practice session until I get 3 up and downs, so consecutive. So I gotta get up and downs with all 3 of these. So let's start with this one right here. We'll go to the pin that's the shortest, Gabe. So I got my 56-degree wedge. This is a very realistic kind of short-sighted situation. We should be able to get an up and down. So I gotta get an up and down from here, there, and there to end my practice session. I gotta go 3 in a row. Go in, baby. Go in. All right, that's 1 up and down. Cash me out. So now I just got to get up and down from here and there. Get back there, get back there, get back there. All right, so we got a 5-footer that I got to make under pressure. And if I make it, then we'll go to that one. If I miss it, then we got to start over. I mean, I'm going to do everything I would normally do. So I chipped it up here. This is actually 6 feet. I thought it was 5 feet, but it's 6 feet. It's uphill. It's left to right. There's pressure. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Again, I believe Nelly Korda does 6 of these up and downs to end her practice session. I'm 2 for 2. I got up and down with the first one by just chipping it in, and then up and down making a clutch 6-footer on that one. So here we go. If I get an up and down here, I'm gonna end my practice session with 3 up and downs in a row. Oh no. Chunky monkey. Unless I can drain a 10-footer under pressure, we're gonna have to start all over. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Now we gotta start all over. All right, that's a good start. I wouldn't necessarily recommend putting it in with your wedge, but I've gotten decently good at that. So we're 1 for 1. Now I gotta get an up and down from here. Not bad. Now we can test our little 3.5-footer. Now we start over. This is why we need to practice like this. All right. Another 3-footer under pressure. Practicing our short game. 2 to go. Let's go. Under the pressure. Let's go. Go in, baby. Go in. Cash me out. Oh. So this is real life pressure. Can we get this up and down to end our practice here? On an up and down, it's into the grain, it's uphill, so I'm gonna actually putt this even though I'm off the green, see if I can get the up and down to end the practice session. Go, 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 go. Let's go. So it took me a while, but this is what moves the needle in our golf game, is practicing realistic short game situations trying to get these up and downs, adding a little pressure to it, practicing our 6-footers, practicing our 5-footers, our 4-footers, our 3-footers, our 2-footers. And you can see there, practicing putting from the fringe and just the first cut of rough, the Texas wedge shot. This is how we lower our golf scores, is the shorts game. Now let's go talk about some other small little things that can actually lower scores fast. All right, this is a bonus tip. One of the reasons why amateurs score so high is they try to play hero golf. This is a par 5. There's a bridge out there. It'd be fun for me to go for it in 2. Let me get my calculation. 264 yards. It would be a hero shot to try to go for this par 5 in 2. However, I'm gonna play the boring, plain Jane shot. I'm actually gonna hit a 9-iron. How boring on a par 5. So I'm gonna look for the fat part of the fairway. Try to hit my next shot in the fat part of the fairway so I can hit my next shot on the green. I'm avoiding the temptation of going for this par 5 and 2. I'm not totally against going to par 5s and 2, going for par 5s and 2 if there's not trouble around. But I've seen the big alligators in that water left of this green. It's a no-go zone. So I'm going to pick my target down the right side of the fairway and just hit a 9-iron down there and try to advance the ball and then hit my next shot on the green. Nice 9-iron, right down the middle, right in the fairway. And now I got a wedge into this par 5. Again, I didn't go for it in 2 because I'm thinking I don't want to have a blow-up hole. So let's go see if we can get a par bogey from there. All right, this is my absolutely favorite golf shot at Tampa Palms. This is hole 16. I'm 104 yards. This is such a beautiful shot. We have the water here, and there are alligators in there if you ever play Tampa Palms. 3 bunkers to the right of this green. What most amateurs do, and I understand why, you're out with your buddies, you look where the pin is, and you just take dead aim at the pin. The problem with that is on this hole, if you yank it left, you have a penalty stroke of being in the water. I'm gonna pretend my landing zone is in between the flag and the left edge of the bunker. So I'm imagining if my ball lands in that zone, then I'm safe and I'm gonna probably get a par birdie. So again, I'm not aiming at the pin. It's a sucker pin by the water. I'm aiming right of the pin. Right where I'm aiming. I should kick left because I've played here a lot. Yep, you see it kick left off that bank and roll down there towards the pin. So now I got a putt for the birdie, or as Big Lot calls it, the hot wing. Let's go see if we can get the birdie. Here we go, we got a birdie putt. Now at the beginning of the video, I talked about making the 2, 3, 4, 5 footers. This thing's more like 18 footers. What's appropriate to understand is that most of the pros actually don't make them from this length. If I make it, that's a bonus, but my goal here is no 3-putt. So I'm just kind of looking, is it uphill or downhill? Maybe a little bit uphill, and I'm trying to determine which way this putt's gonna go. Oh man, I had my fist pump already. That's an effortless par. Because we didn't try to go for the green in 2, rather we just knocked it in the fairway, knocked it on the green. 2-putt Parmesan. One of the biggest mistakes that amateurs make that's keeping their scores high is indecision. So I'm on a par 5 here, and I made a decision as I was driving up here that I'm gonna go for it in 2. I'm gonna hit driver. There's a cart path stake out there. That's my alignment line. I'm gonna aim at that and try to hit a nice little draw out there in the fairway. So I've made my decision of what club I wanna hit, what shot shape I wanna hit, which is a little draw, and I'm gonna swing like I mean it and try to knock a nice drive out there so I can go for this par 5 and 2. A lot of amateur golfers are kind of indecisive, and even as they're getting up to the ball, they're like, I don't know what I should do. Make your decision and then try to execute that shot. It went a little bit of a cut, but it should be out there on the right side of the fairway. My drive barely missed the fairway, but I'm able to go for this par 5 and 2 just like the plan was off the tee. So I'm in between clubs, in between an 8-iron and 7-iron from 190, but I'm gonna make my decision of the 8-iron, and I'm gonna have to swing really strong to make sure I get it there. The wind is helping. So again, I don't wanna be indecisive. I've made my final decision, strong 8-iron. I'm gonna try to hit a nice little draw in and see if we can have a putt for eagle. Kick left, kick left. Bunker? I might have hit it in the bunker, it might have went over the bunker. One thing that amateurs don't do that they should do that can help lower your scores is making sure your club face is clean before every shot. I use this little scrub cleaner thing here, and I just spray a little water on my club after each shot, and I rinse it off and wipe it off with the towel. That way my ball and my club face are always making a nice clean contact and I'm getting spin. But I've seen golfers have mud and debris and dirt on their wedges. That's not helping you at all. So I'm in the habit after every shot, I give it a little scrub, little water, wipe it off like that. For my next shot, I got a nice clean club face.